Welcome back to Keeping Up the Canaries. It's episode 2 and we've got the final of the European International Cup coming up against Boavista, as we have got an actual player who was happy to be put out on loan, Fitzpatrick. I played him for about 10 minutes in either the semi-final or the match just before that last episode, and he wasn't ever going to go anywhere. We got Chong in to play in his position, so he was never going to get game time. I put him on the loan list and he appreciates it, which is quite nice to see. We've got this final and then we've got the first 2 matches of the Premier League season coming up.
European International Cup final is coming right up. Boavista against Norwich City.
Yeah, I mean, pre-season or not, always nice to start off on a winning run, to lift a trophy, set a habit that you want to continue throughout the season proper. So a lot riding on the next 90 minutes.
Today, Alan Smith's certainly going to do that.
Well, I think both of these players should come into this
We started
match
off as Emi plays a lofted ball over to I, who puts a cross in, which is quite an interesting tactic considering Pukki is our striker who's not got much height. As we then win a corner, going against all of that, we actually seem a decent threat from set pieces here with our very large German centre-backs. But going forward, you've got Emi, Onel Hernandez, Ive and Pukki, none of who look like they will win a winner header, even against the centre-back, as Emi plays Onel through, who smacks it against the post, but the second time he does not make that same mistake. How the hell he put it against the post? Same as last episode, Roberts put one against the post where he should have absolutely buried it. Luckily we're getting the rebounds come straight back to us, and he lashes it into the roof of the net. That could have been a really poor start if that had just gone wide or in any other direction off the post. But Norwich are very confident here. This is on just the professional difficulty as Pukki turns his defender and drills it in. So we will see when we get our first test of the season, which is against Liverpool at Anfield on the opening day. We will see whether we need to put the difficulty up. I've kind of refrained from doing it in this tournament because I thought it's not worth doing it now and then suddenly with 7-0 down to Liverpool. As Pukki gets through again and just drags it wide, that low shot across goal is very liable to just go really dragged wide of the target. Yeah, as soon as Liverpool's done, we will change the settings to what we think is an actual acceptable difficulty setting. Boavista really didn't have many chances here. It was just confident passing out. It gets to half-time.
Well, when the transfer window is open, you know Manchester City will be looking, and this time they've done more than look. They bought.
Imagine if Alderweireld had actually gone to Man City in the summer this season. They've just had their defence injury crisis with their centre-backs as Laporte got injured. But if they had Alderweireld, they would be almost unstoppable, as Emi just shoots wide in the second half. They get a ball in, and a very good header actually. Good connection, but he just drags it quite far wide. They never seem to threaten too much, even when they are presented with a very good chance, as Ive gets a 1-2 off with Emi and plays through Dermich, who had literally just come on. Same as before, he's an amazing impact sub to have. He finishes so confidently, and that makes it 3-0 Norwich, and it's a very comfortable cup final, which you shouldn't really expect. I know it is pre-season, but you'd expect a bit more competition.
That's it. It's over. And they came here saying they wanted to get fit, but they wanted to win the tournament as well, and they've done just that. Well, maybe they will win bigger prizes. Certainly they'll be hoping to do that. But if you're in it, you want to win it, and that's their honour today. It's been pretty competitive, Alan, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and the manager will be pleased about that. Played at a good intensity.
Well, a prize is a prize, and they're proud of this one. They'll be hoping for trophies of greater merit in the months ahead, but they'll go into those competitions with the scent of victory in their nostrils from this competition.
Yeah, lovely moments these. Now be posted on social media before the players can get off the pitch.
Well, you have to have the team photo.
So if there was ever a way that you wanted to head into a Liverpool match, it's off the back of winning all of your pre-season games and then coming out with a trophy at the end. So Norwich have an abundance of confidence here, and hopefully it doesn't get completely shattered by Liverpool. We got a nice little bit of money. We got a bit more transfer funds, 2 and a bit million, which is decent, and we got a transfer request for Fenerbahce trying to buy Tim Krul off of us. Farman is clearly the first choice here, and so I said yes. I negotiated a little bit, I didn't want to take just 3.1 million, but I just said, hey, if you can make it 3.5, then we'll do business and you can take Tim Krul off our hands. If Farman does get injured, we'll put McGovern in and he can't be too much worse than Krul, or we'll just buy up now with our extra funds a cheaper keeper to play as the backup to Farman. That was quite an easy decision. Chong wasn't even in my squad for the final despite just signing him, so I felt pretty bad for that. I had to put him straight in for the next match. And I replaced Roberts with Chong to be his quick sub. We then got an interesting offer for Max Aarons from Besiktas, and after playing Sam Byram and realising that there was really no equal to Aarons in that position, I just had to reject it straight away. But then we went into Tom Tribal, who, as our CDM, we already have Amadou, Kenny McLean, and then Vrancic and Leitner already in that position. So if we lose Tribal for a decent amount of money, that would have been fine. I told them 5.5 million, which was very ambitious. They said 5.2, and I was quite happy to give them that. We got another offer for Max Aarons and said no. Continue with the training, and then we finally got a transfer request for Grant Hanley, so I was more than happy to see him go. Jamal Lewis, I thought we needed like a backup, so we went for a 59 rated left back from Tottenham called Harvey White. Pochettino's there, and we were quite happy just to take him on at a very low level, be in the reserves, and I'll have him on the bench so that if we need him, he will play, and maybe we'll develop him as he gets further into the future. He's there for 4 years, which, I mean, I got it down from 5, and there's a release clause of about 670,000, so if we do develop him, he's going to get taken off our hands straight away. We then got an offer for Christoph Zimmermann, who was the first guy to send me as a manager a message saying like, oh, welcome. He was also suggested in the first episode, I don't think I showed it, but he was suggested to be the captain of the team, and he's clearly been a good player. And I offered them, I told them you could buy him for like 6 million. They said we'll go much lower, so I just didn't do anything. We're not selling Zimmermann right now. We only have 3 centre backs, and that's close to Zimmermann and then Godfrey. We've lost Hanley. It's not much of a loss, but we don't need any more than that. And then we got a transfer for Leitner, a request, and before I even responded to that, I went off to Man City and said, can we have Foden for a year, please? Because I'm not going to let Leitner go unless I know we've got another player there. They went to offer me just under 5 million. I told them if you can buy it for 6, that's fine. And they agreed with that, so 6 million for Leitner, and then just over 5 million for Tribal. We've got over 10 million for 2 central midfielders who aren't first choice anyway, so that's actually pretty good business. We got a transfer request for Teemu Pukki, so I said no, and then Ben Godfrey asked to start in the next match, and I said I'll consider it. And just said we've got lots of quality in the squad. My 3 quick subs, I've got Phil Foden as the quick sub coming on for Emmy, because he's got quite low stamina, and so he's knackered by the end of the match. Then Jordan Ibe will come off and Chong will come on. And then one of the central midfielders will come off, because I just want to rest them so they don't completely use all of their stamina up every game.
And all systems go here at Anfield ahead of what should be an enthralling night of football. I'm Derek Ray, joined here in the commentary box as always by Lee Dixon, and there are few more enjoyable days on the football calendar than opening day in the Premier League. It is Liverpool, and they take on Norwich City. Liverpool.
I don't know how to describe this. This is basically why everyone is saying career mode is broken. Liverpool on their first game of the season have kept Van Dijk and their 3 forwards of Salah, Mane and Firmino. Everyone else is just the reserve teams. You've got a 48 rated there, you've got like a 63 rated goalkeeper, I think it was. And on the bench, they've got Alisson on the bench, they've got Robertson and Alexander-Arnold, they've got Wijnaldum and they've got Fabinho. And they've decided to play that team, which is really dodgy. But they started off well. Zimmerman's making sure that it was a good idea to keep him. Then O'Neill gets put down through the wing, tries a low ball in, which just comes out to Mane. And then he looks to almost dribble it away, and he gets intercepted. One ball through to Pukki, who finishes lovely. 6 minutes in, and it's already 1-0 Norwich against a definitely not full-strength Liverpool side. It's really a shame, because I wanted to actually test out how good I am, and this actual team, you take that, like, just because they've got Van Dijk there doesn't mean everyone else is somehow better, and they'd be mid-table at best, really. That's some really nice football from Norwich here. Jamal Lewis pushing all the way up, making sure Harvey White doesn't take his place, and then Vrancic blasts it in. It's 11 minutes in and it's 2-0 against Liverpool already. If this had happened in the actual season, one ball into Pukki, he should have scored. That should be 3-0 in under 20 minutes. But here's the thing, Liverpool going forward, just there as you see. Good interplay, but Firmino's not got the finishing. And then Pukki goes through, squares it across, and Onel Hernandez scores. 30 minutes, 3 goals. It's far too simple here. Pukki plays it to Emi, he has a shot, rebounds, and Pukki's there. 36 minutes, 4-0. You see how I went into the settings trying to just change the difficulty mid-match? That's not possible. So halfway, it's half-time, and it's already 4-0 to Norwich City. I made subs. I thought I'll bring Foden on right now because there's no point, first off, using Emi's stamina, but also we might as well try out the new players if it's in such a weak team, as Chong dribbles and then gives it to Foden, who that low shot being dragged wide, as I mentioned. But that was Christy Davis. I've never heard of him, sorry, I'm not a really strong Liverpool fan. And he's come off, and Wijnaldum's come on.
The transfer's gone through. Paul Pogba has completed his move to Real Madrid.
There you go, Pogba's gone to Real Madrid, and Pukki has beaten Van Dijk to a chip through ball, and then he's just passed it past the keeper. Far too simple. But Foden and Chong both seem like good signings, despite him shooting over there, and Chong just putting it wide. They're both exciting players, and they're actually really good. We brought Dermich on, and he ran straight through and chipped the keeper. From about the penalty spot, keeper's just outside the 6-yard box, he's in absolute no man's land, and one easy chip, and that's full time. 6-0 against Liverpool. So you rest assured those difficulty settings are getting changed, and we're moving up to world class. If that proves to still be a problem, we'll go up to legendary. But yeah, absolutely perfect start, as my manager said. They had asked for Cantwell to play, and I just said our competition, there's lots of competition, and that kept Cantwell happy for now. I'll try and play in next match. And then I completely forgot Ben Godfrey. He asked me to start, and I was like, yeah, I'll consider it. I planned on putting him straight in, so he will start the next match, which is against Newcastle United. And then we'll put Cantwell in at left wing instead of Onel, because we don't want to make anyone too angry and then get fired, which seems to be a thing. But Close is there. They offered 4 million for him. I really wasn't too sure about it, because we've had, as I said, 3 centre-backs. If one of them gets injured, or we get an unbelievable offer for him, then we'll be in serious trouble.
Well, it's very early in the season, but we have the top 2 involved today, and it could have a lot of significance down the road a ways.
Yeah, you did hear them right. Norwich and Newcastle are the 2 top teams in the Premier League, which is absolutely unbelievable. So this is the issue with career mode. They haven't really got teams playing their full strength teams, and it ends up with Norwich and Newcastle at the top of the league. But one ball through to Ibe, he manages to body the defender, and the keeper pushes it out, but no one can quite get onto the end of it. Newcastle are clearly better going forwards. Longstaff heads it down to the keeper. An outrageous ball down to Ibe, who just about keeps it on, and then puts a solid ball in, and Pukki hits it off the keeper, and it rebounds and smacks Pukki back in the face, and it comes out wide. But Newcastle definitely better. Like, they're better on world class going forward, and they seem to at least be near Pukki there for a shot, which is more than I can say for when they're on just professional. But then Pukki gets played straight through with a lovely through ball and just buries it. You don't expect, even if that's legendary, you don't expect them to be missing that shot or the keeper to be saving it. Cantwell's there, he has actually got his start, and it's not turned out too poorly.
It's all about the weight of the pass here. He hardly had to break stride, and he finished it emphatically.
Atsu runs down the wing and crosses in for Y Toure. If you see in the bottom right, it said there. I do not know whether that is actually Yaya Toure, who they've thought, as Sam Maxime. He just shoots wide. Stiepermann runs all the way through and tries to gift it back to Pukki. Should have just shot there. Nothing happens. Except for Jamal Lewis getting on the end and putting another ball in, which just goes over Stiepermann. That would be very interesting if they've actually bought Yaya Toure.
The pursuit of a player, they've got their man now.
And Jesus was suggested to me in episode 1 by my scout, as if because I wanted a good striker. But I didn't mean that good, and I wasn't about to pay 30 million for him. Although we do have near 30 million in the budget now, so let me know if you have any players you want. As Pukki goes through to seal the win, but the keeper pushes it out. Another ball through to Pukki, and Very good defending there, except it just bounces out unluckily, and he shoots it, drags it wide again. Chong gets another chance, but that is it. It's 1-0 Norwich-Newcastle, a much more realistic result for the quality, like the skill of the two teams. You expect it to be quite a tight game near the bottom of the table, maybe not right at the top. But hopefully this will be a realistic Premier League, and next match is up against Chelsea, so we will see if I really struggle in that one. I did say we deserved to win. It was a tight game, we had more clear-cut chances. They still made chances throughout, but I was really just real cocky, saying Norwich are just going to win everything. And then they said Fabian Schär did well, despite conceding, and I didn't really see him too much in the game. But yeah, I just praised him. We could do with someone like Schär. We've got Zimmerman, Godfrey and Closer. I mean, we don't need Schär. We've got a very solid defence at the moment. That is 2 clean sheets out of 2 games. And next up, as I said, is Chelsea. But let's just take a look at the table there. Newcastle is still 5th, despite a loss. Brighton are the only team with a perfect win record. And then you've got Sheffield United in 3rd. I hope with the most recent update, which will be in effect by the time the next episode comes out, they will have at least fixed this a bit. So one, I can be confident that I'll actually have my job, even if one player gets a bit annoyed. But then also that we can just get a realistic almost table, except maybe a bit less realistic, because hopefully Norwich will finish in the top half. Please join me next time, and we'll be going on part 3 of Keeping Up the Canaries. Leave a like on this video if you've enjoyed it, leave a comment with anyone you want me to buy, or anything that you want me to do in this career mode, and then subscribe so you know when all of those videos come out.